like I said, this will be the exact quiz on Tuesday, October 19th. Okay. All right. And if you did, before we go into, you can use your notes. You can use your notes to complete the study guide, obviously. This is to help you study. Another resource to help you study was something that I gave you yesterday. What did I give you yesterday? Yeah, the half sheet that you can teach a guardian or an adult about photosynthesis. If they listen to you, give you legitimate feedback, and you bring that back on Tuesday, that gives you 5 points on the quiz. Now, remember what we talked about, the kicker is, are you going to need those 5 points if you teach somebody photosynthesis? Maybe, but probably not. If you teach somebody photosynthesis, you're probably going to understand it, and you're going to be able to do well on the assessment, okay? Also, if you fill this out, are you going to do well in the assessment? It's not guaranteed, but it's more likely, right? Okay, so that's why we do these things. We can prepare. Okay, so before we get into the photosynthesis part, I want to go on the back. All right, this is a mitochondria. So it says it right here, or a mitochondrion. That's a singular form, mitochondrion. All right. So what cellular process takes place in the mitochondrion or mitochondria? Is it photosynthesis, fermentation, or cellular respiration? Which one of those?
The one.
Ooh.
Say it again.
Go ahead, Faith. Cellular respiration. Okay, so this is cellular respiration. Now, if it helps, maybe you want to use the equation. You need to write the appropriate missing information below for the mitochondria drawing. So you need to tell me the 2 items that go in and the 3 items that come out. Okay. Now, didn't I give you notes on this? You took notes, and then I gave notes to those of you who wanted them in addition. Okay. The 2 items that go in and the 3 items that come out. If it helps you to write the equation, do so. So what is one thing that goes into mitochondria in cellular respiration? Think about what needs to happen in cellular respiration. One thing, Corbin.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. So, okay, if you want to get specific and say 6 molecules of oxygen, you can do so. So these are the things that go in. I'm going to say 6 O2. If you want to write oxygen, that will also be okay. Okay, I will accept either. You can write either O2 or oxygen or both. Okay, that's a bad looking 2, but you understand. Okay, thanks, Ryan. You make me feel good about myself. All right, what's another thing that goes in? What's necessary? Go ahead, Faith. Glucose. Glucose, the formula is C6H12O6. Okay? Or glucose. So you could write that C6H12O6. That is glucose or sugar. Okay? Those are the 2 things that go in. Right? Do you know those things? Yes. Most of us probably knew those things. We've studied this a lot. Ryan, go ahead and sharpen your pencil. Okay. So this is a mitochondrion. This is cellular respiration. These are the 2 things that go in. It's going to produce 3 things. Remember, this arrow means yields or produces. Okay. What is it going to yield? You see something over here. This ATP. It should be ATP. Okay. Now, that kind of gives away the answer. What is cellular respiration attempting to produce? Bella? No? Okay. Aiden.
Energy?
Energy in the form of ATP, right? That's what it's trying to produce. Now, it can't be perfect. It has some byproducts. Okay. How many molecules? Do you remember? Yeah. 32 if done perfectly efficiently. It can produce sometimes up to 38 if you include like glycolysis and the Krebs cycle, but we don't need to get into that. 32 if done efficiently. All right, 32 ATP, that's energy. So 32 ATP. So write 32 ATP, and if you wanted to include energy, you could. What I need to have is a number though, 32. Because you need to understand that cellular respiration creates more energy molecules, ATP molecules, than fermentation. Fermentation only yields how many? You remember? Danny? 2, okay? So fermentation does not yield as much because oxygen is not present, okay? So I need to have that number there. And if you want to include energy, that's up to you as well, because that's what ATP provides. Now, what are the byproducts? What are the byproducts? What else gets put in, or sorry, comes out, Abel? Carbon dioxide, that'd be CO2, 6 molecules in this case of CO2. Okay, and if you wanted to write carbon dioxide, you could do so.
I wonder what's funny.
Yeah, I do want to know. It's funny.
So, I just saw where it says 5 points on there. If you get that completely wrong, that does, you just don't have to do it if you do the teaching.
True.
You basically just don't have to do it.
As long as you teach your guardian correctly and they do what they should. Yeah. Okay. Next. What do you have here? What's another byproduct? Avery, do you know what the other byproduct is of cellular respiration besides carbon dioxide? No, O2 is necessary for respiration.
Oh, H2O.
Yep, H2O. There you
I
go.
was looking at my photosynthesis.
That's okay, man.
That's why if you punch on a leaf, it's got juices. What? Oh, okay, sure.
What is H2O, Avery?
Water.
Yep, water. Now, again, this is my way of remembering it. You don't have to do it this way. But when I think of respiration, I think of breathing. What do I breathe in, everybody? Oxygen. In order to do an activity, I need this. Sugar. Okay, and then while I'm doing that activity, what am I burning? Or what are you using? Energy. And also, what am I breathing out?
CO2.
Carbon dioxide. And then that water, I imagine that like you're sweating. Okay, like that just helps me. Respiration. If that doesn't help you, that's fine. If it does help you, that's also fine. Okay, so that's cellular respiration, 5 points. Now, go to number 2. This is one we haven't really talked about. It was on the warm-up today. Explain why plants need to have both chloroplasts and mitochondria. Okay, why do plants need both? We don't have chloroplasts, but plants have both. Why do they need both? Bella. There you go. You basically nailed it. So I gave you a multiple choice on that warm-up today, right? It was something like mitochondria and chloroplasts are best friends. No, that's obviously a throwaway answer. And then another one was like they don't. They only need chloroplasts. That is not correct, right? They need both. And the other two options were the chloroplast makes the food or the sugar, and the mitochondria uses that sugar, it converts it into energy, or the other way around. The mitochondria makes the food, and the chloroplast burns the energy. So which one was it? Bella nailed it. Okay, Bella said it. And if you didn't hear Bella, she said the chloroplasts need to make the sugar. okay, or the glucose, or the food, however you want to word it. And the mitochondria take that food, break it down, and convert it into energy. Why does a plant need energy? All living things need energy, okay, whether they are running marathons or just sitting there in your garden. The plant needs energy to survive, to grow structures that it needs to survive, okay, just exist. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, so you could write something like plants need chloroplasts to convert sunlight into glucose, yeah, or sugar. I guess I should include sunlight, water, and CO2 into glucose. You don't even have to go into that detail. You could just say plants need chloroplasts to make glucose. And the mitochondria convert that glucose into energy in order to live.
Imagine trying to explain this to a 3-year-old and
Right.
seeing the confusion on their
Right.
face.
I know.
No, they'd just be like.
So here's how you get, that's how you get 2 points. Something of that nature. Here's how you could get 1 point. Plants need to have chloroplasts to make their food. And maybe you forgot what mitochondria did. Or you could get 1 point for mitochondria. Plants need mitochondria to produce energy from their food. Okay, that would give you 1 point. You need both of these to have 2 points, right? Okay. Now, why don't we need chloroplasts? Why don't animals need chloroplasts, Avery?
We have actual food that we consume that already has the glucose and stuff.
Right. We don't get to make our own food. We have to consume food by finding it. Used to animals will hunt it. Yeah, we're not autotrophs. Very good vocabulary word drop there. Yes.
We have to consume food that the food ate plants that comes from the sun.
Right. All energy comes from the sun. Isn't that? All right. And then here we go. I'm going to let you fill out number 1 on your own. Some of you might have already done so. Here you have to do, sometimes people get confused on this. Tell me which one is photosynthesis, which one is cellular respiration, which is aerobic, which one is alcoholic fermentation, and which is lactic acid fermentation. So this should be easy. Right here, I see one that says lactic acid. Which one do you think that is? Lactic acid fermentation, right? That's where you would write lactic acid fermentation.
You have to actually write that entire thing.
Yes.
Go back to desk to read.
Okay. Then you should notice fermentation looks like fermentation right here. Glucose into 2-pyruvate. Okay. And in this case, though, for lactic acid wasn't a byproduct. It was OH negative and CO2. That'd be alcohol and CO2. That's obviously alcoholic fermentation. Okay, now you're left with photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Now remember, those are just in reverse. So you have to pick out which one has photosynthesis. Well, how about the one that says light and chlorophyll? That one would be photosynthesis.
Question, why does it say 34?
Right. Now, that's why I say that it varies. And we should be more consistent in our labeling here. So that's on me. But it can be 32. 2 ATP can be created during glycolysis, and then the entire thing can be 34 during cellular respiration. So it can range from like 32 to 38 is what I've seen. So yeah, that's not a great answer, but that's my answer. That makes sense? So obviously this one is cellular respiration.
Now, where do I drop
There you go. I pretty much gave you the whole study guide. You're welcome. and you have a quiz on this on Tuesday. Corbin, you got to keep that until Tuesday. Can you do so?
No.
Yes, you can. Because so you have to fill out number one. Number one is the biggie. Can you draw photosynthesis? Do you know the equation? The equation is already here. Okay. Number one, you have to fill this all in, just like we did yesterday on the board. I did. That's okay. I'll get over it. Alrighty. Thank you, everybody. I hope you all have a great weekend. Remember, if you want to turn in your cell project, please do so. Or other things.
Don't worry, I'll do it Monday.
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah, right, Corbin. We all know you're gonna say this, and it's just gonna be like, I'll do it next.
I wasn't here.
Okay, I wasn't here.
Have a great weekend.
I didn't look at it.
So I don't know.